the Dr. Paul S. Hill Jr. Stadium here on the campus of Thornton Academy for tonight's boys lacrosse action between the home team, the Thornton Academy Golden Trojans, and the visiting Biddeford Tigers. I'm Cole Purvis alongside Troy Bulldog. Josh Pulsifer will be doing our camera and producing tonight. It is the blackout game to benefit the Barbara Bush Children's Hospital, and so Thornton Academy their black uniforms with the baby blue numbers that they wear once a year. It's quite a great tradition here at Hill Stadium. Always brings out one of the biggest crowds of the season for boys lacrosse. Troy, your thoughts on this game? Is obviously teams going in two different directions. Thornton Academy comes in at 8-2. Biddeford just 1-10. What are you expecting from the Trojans today?
Yeah, obviously there's a little bit of disparity in terms of record between these two teams, but I'm still excited to see this game. Obviously the Biddeford versus TA rivalry. We just had the girls lacrosse game just before this one where Biddeford beat TA 10-6, so that was a good game as well. And as you mentioned, this is the Barbara Bush Children's Hospital game, so it's for a good cause, so I'm excited for this game.
I always know there's a little bit of friendly competition between TA and Biddeford in this spring sports season. They did get us in softball. Softball team lost 11-10 to Biddeford, but the baseball team got a win over them. Tennis and boys lacrosse will look to do the same today, as Mr. Stevens will handle our public address announcing duties today. Announcing the starting lineups for a Thornton Academy team that is coming off of their biggest win of the season and their biggest win in quite some time for this program. That was a 10-5 win over Cape Elizabeth, the reigning three-time Class A state champion, 3 years in a row that is. And they won that game 10-5 here at Hill Stadium, fighting through a couple of lightning delays. Want to give a big shout out to Jeff Christianberry, who's watching online, one of our many viewers here on TATV.
Driscoll, Mike Percy, Wyatt LeBlanc, Aaron Scott, John Shapazian, Chad Brecken. The head coach is Mr. Ryan Percy. Your clock operator for today's game is Mr. Cody. Your officials are Mr. Begonia and Mr. Potman. And your certified athletic trainer in attendance is Tony Giordano.
And the TA boys will exit the field right around the 30-yard line and head back to their sideline as we get underway. 12-minute quarters in Maine High School boys lacrosse. Thornton Academy sits at the number 3 seed in Class A right now, trailing just Cape Elizabeth at 1 and Falmouth at 2. Biddeford is 17th, is the number 17 seed out of 18 teams in Class B. Looking to shock the Maine High School lacrosse world tonight. Thornton Academy coached by Ryan Hersey. Their assistant coaches are Brian Dower, Christopher Driscoll, Mike Hersey, Wyatt LeBlanc, Aaron Scott, and John Shapazian. Biddeford's head coach is Marsh Gray. Their assistant coaches are Justin Roy, Dukin McDougall, and Jack Sutton. Just about ready for the opening draw here from Hill Stadium. As the starters for both teams will line up across from each other and shake hands. Again, Thornton Academy, not in their usual maroon or white uniforms. They're in the black uniforms tonight with the baby blue numbers. Again, that's to benefit the Barbara Bush Children's Hospital, as the two goaltenders will make their way to their respective goals. For Biddeford, it's number 12, Aiden Doobie, and for TA, it is Drew Maxey, who will make his second consecutive start. He was phenomenal in the win over Cape Elizabeth the other night. Cody Southwick will handle the face-offs for TA. Plays that Fogo position, face-off, get-off, which if you don't watch a ton of lacrosse, the job is really to win the face-off and then get off the field as fast as possible to get an extra offensive player on there. Ball scooped up by Noah Hallett for Biddeford. Hallett's going to take it across the field. Finds Owen Sylvain in the middle. Hurries over to the right wing. Now we'll slow it down. Good offensive start here for Biddeford. Already some time in their zone. heavy underdog in this game, coming in at just 1-10. Their only win was a 14-12 high-scoring affair against Trape Academy. That shot unable to find its way to the net, and it's scooped up by Hunter Boudreau, who will dump it back into Maxey. Maxey surveys his options. He'll take this quite a ways out, and now jump it off for Jack DeLeo. Of course, if you're Maxey, you don't want to get too far out of your own net because a turnover could be costly and give the Tigers an open net. Bo Preston up the left wing. He'll settle things down. Fires one back up to Ben White. White makes a move on his defender, fires it back up top. Verino rips a shot and scores. Top shelf, Noah Verino picks up right where he left off. 3 goals against Cape Elizabeth in the first one of the night against the Biddeford Tigers. 1-0 Trojans.
Yeah, TA wasting no time getting on the board here. They have a variety of elite scorers on this TA team. Noah Verino is one of them. And he shows it right there on the TA's first offensive possession of the game.
Noah in the last game against Cape Elizabeth scored his 100th career goal. And in the first meeting on the road against Cape Elizabeth, which was a loss for TA, Jake Marcotte, another senior on this team, reached the century mark in goals. So a pair of Trojans have scored 100 goals on the career. Here's Grady Hersey, the son of assistant coach Mike Hersey and nephew of head coach Ryan Hersey with the ball. Now it's Tyler Lydon. And a turnover for the Tigers. That was Jamison Worthley. Scooped up by Southwick. He'll take it right to left for TA. Runs the lane, shoots and scores. Too easy for the senior Cody Southwick, who took it right up the middle and bounced one right past the feet of Aiden Doobie. 2-0 TA, and just the start Coach Hersey wanted for his team.
Yeah, 2 offensive possessions for TA and 2 goals scored. This could be a high-scoring game for TA.
Southwick will go right back to work, scored the goal, and then wins the face-off. With some speed up the left side, being chased by Jack Marquis. Here's the senior, Bo Preston. And as we mentioned in the open, 2 teams going in very different directions. Biddeford with just the 1 win on the season over Trape Academy. TA is 10-2 and one of the elite teams in the state of Maine. DeLeo dumps it down to Jake Marcotte, who scores. And the Trojans executing offensively. DeLeo the assist and Marcotte the goal. 3-0 TA.
Yeah, DeLeo's a real shifty player. As you mentioned, goalie dumps it down to Marcotte. Marcotte's able to score on that kind of low scoop shot to give TA a 3-0 lead.
So really no surprises so far in this game, and it's been the big 3 for TA of Noah Verino, Jake Marcotte, and Jack DeLeo scoring goals. Or Cody Southwick, rather. DeLeo with the assist on that one. Just over 3 minutes into this game. Here's a shot by Verino, and he scores. The skilled shot by the senior. He's got 2 goals already.
Yeah, that was a real athletic shot. A little off-balance jump shot there.
That high release point by Noah Verino has been deadly offensively this year for TA. He'll be heading to St. Michael's College in Vermont next year to play Division II lacrosse. Southwick wins the draw. TA looking to pour it on early, and they do. 5-0 Trojans already. And this time it's Noah Verino, who already has a hat trick, 3 goals in the early going, and we're just 3.5 minutes into this game.
I don't think that you could have a better start if you're Thornton Academy. I mean, quick dominance. That's pretty much all you can say.
Certainly going to be a tall task for Biddeford to crawl back in this game, but if you're them, you just want to get possession and then really just hold the ball, bleed some clock down, and get the best shot possible to try and at least get on the scoreboard, because Thornton Academy has come out and absolutely handed it to the Tigers so far. Marcotte scores. That's 2 for Jake Marcotte. He had a highlight reel goal in a game on the road against South Portland a couple of weeks ago. Gained some traction on social media, got posted by the Lacrosse Network, which is a popular Instagram page dedicated to lacrosse. Had several thousand likes on that post. And a timeout is going to be called here early at Hill Stadium. 8:15 to go in the first period. Again, Cole Purvis alongside Troy Bulldog. Josh Pulsifer is doing our producing and running the camera. 6-0 TA. And as TA will gear up for a playoff run pretty soon, we want to mention that they are the number 3 seed in Class A and will likely have a home playoff game. We'll do our best to live stream that, but no guarantees, as of course the end of the year can be pretty busy for all of us. And right now, every team in Class A is trying to stop Cape Elizabeth. They've won the last 3 state championships. But this year looked to be coming back down to earth a little bit with 2 losses in the regular season. They recently had a 32-game win streak snapped by the Falmouth Navigators in a game on their home turf. And then just a week or so later, lost here against TA at Hill Stadium. But they still have Keegan Lathrop, who is arguably the best scorer in the whole state. He's playing Division I at the University of Delaware next year. Southwick will not take the face-off this time. I apologize, the blackout jerseys, sometimes the guys have to switch numbers. It's not the same as their regular jerseys. There's going to be a penalty called on Biddeford. It'll be TA ball. So number 27, who again not listed on the roster because these are different alternate uniforms, but he wins the face-off. Jack DeLeo over to Tyler Lydon, who rips a shot, and a nice save by Aiden Doobie. And then nearly turned it over, but he's able to scoop it up. They'll whistle that dead. Doobie is not only the lacrosse goalie, but also the goalie on the hockey team. Of course, the skills of a hockey goalie, not exactly the same as a lacrosse goalie, but they can carry over in some ways. As we resume play, TA's offense will go back to work. DeLeo approaches the net, and another save by Doobie. He'll scoop it up, just what Biddeford needed to settle things down and slow the onslaught of the TA offense. Doobie will sail that ball all the way out of bounds. It'll go the other way.
Yeah, Doobie with back-to-back saves there. See if he can start building up some momentum.
If you're Biddeford, all you want to do is just make smart passes, and a pass 40 yards down the field is probably not what Coach Gray wanted for his team. That ball slips by Will Edborg. Edborg splits the defense, fires one on net. Another stop as Doobie turns it aside. Fight for the loose ball, picked up by Marcotte. TA was able to win the ground ball battle against Cape Elizabeth, which was a huge reason why they were able to get the win. And that shot off the post by Verino. It's picked up by Lydon. He'll dump it off. Approaching the net, a bouncing shot won't go for, it appears, Jake Marcotte. DeLeo drops it off into that short corner. Edborg once again denied. The ball will skip out of bounds towards the back fence, all the way into the long jump pit. TA closest to it though, so they will keep possession. Speaking of long jump, the TA track team has a Southwestern's regional meet today at Kennebunk High School. A lot of TA athletes competing in that, so best of luck to all of them. And of course, the state meet will be, I believe, 1 week from today on June 1st, and that will be held right here at Hill Stadium. So if you're a fan of TA athletics, definitely come out on the afternoon of June 1st to watch the state track meet. Here's Edborg in front, denied once again. .5:59 to go. It's been a little bit of a scoring, I don't want to call it drought for TA, but they have been scoring pretty quickly, and Biddeford has strung together a couple of saves. And now it'll be Connor Parent to take it out of the pack, but immediately taken away by Jack DeLeo. TA showing dominance so far, especially not allowing Biddeford any transition opportunities. And there it is, 7-0 Trojans. Noah Verino once again. And TA up a touchdown on Biddeford with 5 minutes and 30 seconds to go here in the first quarter.
TA absolutely relentless on that offensive possession there. They had a ton of shots, a few of them wide left, wide right, but they did a good job retaining possession and ultimately were able to score. I mean, when you have 6 chances, odds are you're going to get one of them in.
Again, we want to welcome you to TA TV. This is our first broadcast of a live game that we've done since, I believe, January during the basketball season. We apologize for the lack of activity, but we've been busy during this spring season. I've been playing on the TA tennis team, and Mr. Pulsifer has been busy coaching Little League for his kids. There's a shot and they score, and it appears that is Ben White, the sophomore attacker slash midfielder, with a goal. So far, it's been a 4-piece for Noah Verino, 4 goals for him, 2 for Jake Marcotte. Jake Skillings fighting for that loose ball. Jake's a good hockey player and also plays lacrosse. You see a lot of hockey, lacrosse players, as of course they're similar sports in terms of the physicality and the structure of the game. So it's interesting how many guys play both of those sports. Jake Marcotte's one of them as well. Hunter Boudreau, another guy who plays both hockey and lacrosse. Preston approaches the net, shoots and scores. Little off speed on that shot, gave him a changeup, and Aiden Doobie was not able to stop it. And Preston on the board for the first time this afternoon. It's 9-0 TA in Troy. The season high for goals against TA came in a home win against Gorham with 23, and they are approaching double digits, and we still have 4 minutes and 18 seconds to go here in the first quarter. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say they're going to shatter that today.
I would say so. I like that last goal there by Bo. He kind of fakes that dump off to Liam Heeger.
Skillings will pick up the ground ball, blows a tire. Biddeford looking to take advantage. It's Sylvain out of the pack. He'll sprint towards the back of his net, now cuts out. Biddeford with some new bodies on the field. This is Connor Thibault. Thibault guarded by Southwick. Now gives it up to his teammate, and it is intercepted. TA trying to work their transition offense. Nice dump off in front of the net, and it's dumped in by Verano. A great play by Grady Hersey, the sophomore, who had the steal defensively, took it coast to coast, and eventually got the assist. And Noah Verano has 5 goals already in the first quarter.
Thornton Academy able to capitalize on that transition offense there. Nice dump off and nice score by Verano.
TA student section coming out for this game. Of course, the blackout theme for the blackout game. That pass wide of the mark. Intended for Liam Heeger. Heeger in the back corner. Back up top to DeLeo. DeLeo's got Noah Hallett on him. Sizes him up. Gets by, tosses it towards the back of the net. A turnover as TA player in the back of the net was unable to handle the pass. Doobie will lob one up to Noah Hallett. Hallett running the break for the Tigers. And Preston is going to scoop up the loose change as Owen Sylvain was unable to handle the pass. And they score. 10-0 TA, or sorry, 11-0 TA. In a wild first quarter where they're already in double digits. Of course, a slower pace first quarter with all the stoppages in play due to the goals by TA. So we'll see if the pace of play picks up here, but definitely a slow-moving first quarter at Hill Stadium. But of course, nothing will top the other night where the game was over 3 hours long due to some lightning delays as Jake Marcotte puts one past Doobie for the 12th TA goal of the first quarter. It's been an all right first quarter for TA, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say they're doing all right. They're in a pretty good spot at this point in the game. To be up 12 is a pretty good spot to be in. Obviously, they're going to have to keep it going if they want to win this game, though.
Southwick scraps for the loose ball and comes out of the pack. Fires it to Edborg. Great ball movement by TA. And a goal. That was, it appears, Ben Knox, number 26 in black, with the score. And the lucky number 13 now for TA. And they still got 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Who knows how many more goals they could score. And they might break that 23-goal mark before halftime the way things have been going. Face-off won by the Trojans. Again, we apologize. We don't have number 27 on our roster. Here's Tyler Lydon, the senior. Guarded by Connor Parent. Lydon makes a cut, fires it to Heeger, who dumps it off in front of the net. And another goal for TA. That's Will Edborg, the sophomore for TA. And Liam Heeger, the senior, will get the assist. Liam also a very good football player. Starter on the offensive line for the state champion TA football team. He'll also be playing in the upcoming Lobster Bowl this July in Lewiston. Last minute scramble to get some players on the field. TA up 2 touchdowns on the Tigers. Of course, a rivalry that back in the 80s and 90s, the football teams were very competitive. They would draw some big crowds. I remember my dad saying he played Biddeford, and there were, I think he said, 9,000 people at one game, which you don't really see anymore, unfortunately, in Maine high school football, but that just shows you the power of the Battle of the Bridge TA Biddeford rivalry back in the 80s and 90s. Heger behind the cage, tosses one back up to White. White to Ed Borg, couple of sophomores playing pass. Ed Borg at the hash marks. Tosses it across. We apologize, we don't have number 11 on the roster either. We'll try to get those things cleared up at halftime, as again, these are alternate jerseys, so some of the players switch numbers for this game. Ben White trying to penetrate through. Now he backs out, tosses one up top. Ed Borg, the speedy sophomore, shoots a save by Doobie, and he'll collect the loose ball, and Biddeford will catch their breath and try to set up their offense. Again, yet to score a goal in this game, 25 seconds to go in the first quarter. Here's Jamison Worthley. Worthley pressured by a couple of Trojans. Here's Heger, right down Broadway, shoots and scores. Right over the top of Doobie's right shoulder, and Liam Heger, the senior, gets a goal. It's 15-0 TA.
Liam Heger able to capitalize on that transition there. Worthley kind of lost the ball. Heger picks it up and is able to score.
Face off at the middle of the Trojan head. Players thought it was a dead ball, but they'll play it anyway. That's going to do it here for the first quarter at Hill Stadium. 15-0 is our score. The Trojans with a dominant first quarter performance. Coach Hersey will talk things over for his team, and the Trojans will look to continue to roll in the second. We're going to take a quick break here on TATV and be back right after these messages.
Hey, Dan, how's that proposal coming?
Just finished. I am sending it right now.
Okay, good. Oh, no. How are we looking for noon? We got like 2 minutes. Dan.
Run over here.
Is this my room? Wow, Dad! Is this your room?
Back here at Dr. Paul S. Hill Jr. Stadium, the second quarter between Thornton Academy and Biddeford in high school boys lacrosse. Thornton Academy, the third place team in Class A, and Biddeford, the 17th place team in Class B. Biddeford comes in at 1-10 on the season. Their one win was a 14-12 high-scoring game against Trape Academy. TA's really been through the ringer recently. We mentioned that 10-5 win over Cape Elizabeth the other day. It's a Cape team that's won the past 3 Class A state championships. The game before that was an 11-10 loss in overtime on the road against York. York won the Class B state championship last year. So TA's last 2 games have been against reigning state champs. It's interesting that TA York scored because TA dominated York at home last year in a game that we broadcasted. I believe the score was 15-2 of that game. But York has improved, really turned it on towards the end of last year. Won the Class B state title. Of course, we will switch sides now with a new quarter, so TA going left to right on your screen. Ball pops up in the air in the direction of Doobie. Doobie will loft one up, and a nice catch by Noah Hallett. He'll take it in stride. Fires one in. Wyatt Labonte puts on the move, shoots, and it won't go past Colin Pennell, who's in net. So Maxey played the first quarter in goal. Now it's Pennell, and a nice save by him. You can see just the twitchy athleticism that he has to be able to deny that shot, turn it aside. Here's Wyatt Labonte, a senior for Biddeford, also one of their impact players on the hockey team. Sylvain. He'll circle behind the cage. Tosses out in front, a shot, and a save by Pennell, but a nice start to the second quarter for Biddeford. They've had some time in their zone, and a couple of times they've tested Colin Pennell early on. Here's Cam Lavertu, the senior for TA. He'll toss it ahead. And a whistle, that'll be an infraction on TA.
Yeah, I'm sure being up 15-0, TA will get to work in some of these players that haven't had as much experience this season.
Labonte puts a move on. Now it's Sylvain. Sylvain, with a nice move on his defender, drops it off in front of the net, but unable to handle the pass out in front. And Pennell scoops it up, lofts one towards midfield. Trouble on the catch by TA. Nice check from behind. Biddeford's going to take that, and a flag will fly. So an illegal check by the Tigers. It'll stay TA ball. Substitutions onto the field. Jack Parody, one of those for TA. The other two, unfortunately, we do not have their numbers on the roster. Again, we'll try to get that cleared up at halftime so that we can identify the players. Shot fired on net, or a fake rather, and a nice play. Another goal, Noah Verino. Actually, I don't think it was Noah Verino. To see here in a second. It was Ben White. And a Biddeford player is down on the turf. So Tony Giordano, our great trainer here at Thornton Academy, as well as Connor Shea will go out to check on him. It's number 29, Nikolai Davidenko. Face-off win for TA, trouble controlling the ball. And a nice check by Jack Marquis. It looks like they're not going to count that last goal by TA as the scoreboard still says 15-0 here at Hill Stadium. Here behind the net, he's got a goal and an assist already. And with the score 15-0, of course, A good chance for some of TA's reserves to get some quality play time that they don't normally receive. And in the past couple games, it's been the starters having to expend a lot of energy, of course, playing two of the better teams that they're going to face all season long, Cape Elizabeth and York. Cutting towards the net, a shot and a score. That's 16-0 for TA. I believe that was Ben Knox, the sophomore. Or correction, it was Carter Cormier, number 16, with the goal. Battle for the ball out around the 40-yard line. Biddeford trying to come away with it. They do. This is Labani. He'll toss it up ahead. A shot and a score, and Biddeford is on the board. That's Wyatt Labani, the junior attacker for Biddeford.
Biddeford able to break the ice. Get rid of that goose egg. And that was the start of their comeback right there.
So a 1-1 second quarter so far. The Tigers trying to take advantage of some of TA's reserves in there and put some goals up on the board. Here's Heger, guarded by Dylan Emerson. Body's hitting the floor in front of the cage. Biddeford just golfs the ball out towards the 35-yard line. A flag flies. Referee will blow his whistle. I want to thank you for watching here on TATV. Cole Purvis alongside Troy Bullduk. Back up top, scooting inside, meeting a couple of defenders. Out of the pack comes Connor Parent with some speed, trying to beat his defender towards the offensive zone. Ball popped up into the air. There's a chance for T out in front, and they score. That was number 26, Ben Knox, the sophomore. Now it'll be 17-0 TA. .6:17 to go here in the second quarter. Long battle for the face-off here at midfield, still battling for it, and finally it's Biddeford out of the pack. Willie Pemba picks up the ball, and he will head into the Tigers zone. Here's Labani. Plays it across for Sylvain. Sylvain beats his defender, gets inside, and he's shut off by Pennell. Didn't really have the angle on that one. But he'll collect it and go right back to work on offense. Back out near the 40-yard line to scoop it up will be Labonte. Labonte and Sylvain. Sylvain shoots and scores. That's another one for Owen Sylvain. Rather, the first for Owen Sylvain, and the assist will go to Labonte. So Labonte with 2 points so far, a goal and an assist. Now we've got Grady Hersey for TA coming out to midfield to do the face-off. This is Dylan Emerson. Now it's taken away by TA. Here's Knox. Knox tripped up on his way to the middle. Out in front, a shot. Did it get through? It appears it did not. So Biddeford able to hold their ground. It's been an even second quarter so far with some of the TA reserves in the game, 2-2 on the second period. But of course, the 15-0 first period by TA has them fully in command here at Hill Stadium on this blackout night. Pass knocked down and collected by TA. Just under 4 minutes to go in the first half. Here's a shot bouncing towards the net. Won't go, it'll skip all the way to the back fence. It's going to stay with TA. Here's Liam Heeger. Throws it out to the far side. Nice move put on, dumped in. Here's a shot, and they score. Bar down for TA. It's 18-2. Perfect location on that shot to sneak it by Aiden Doobie. Hersey for the second time in a row will do the face-off. 3 minutes to go in the first half. Hersey in control, he'll back it out. Defended by Aiden Heyman. Hersey makes his way through, uses his strength to get to the goal, and he scores. A dominant play by Grady Hersey. He won the faceoff, never gave it up, and just muscles his way through for the score and TA's 19th goal of the evening.
Yeah, Hersey pretty determined there. Took that ball straight to the net. He knew exactly what he wanted to do, and he was able to do it.
Face-off won by TA, Carter Cormier. The whistle blows and Biddeford will have possession. Now into the game comes Will Marston, the junior, for TA. And it appears that Coach Andrew Carlson has entered the stadium to watch some lacrosse. You don't see a lot of appearances from him. Fresh off of TA Tennis's 5-0 win over Wyndham today. I'm surprised he even knows what lacrosse is. TA working the ball around the horn here with 1 minute and 40 seconds to go in the first half. That pass is intercepted and in stride. It's Noah Hallett running the break for the Tigers. He'll throw one towards the net, a shot, and they score. That was Devin Doobie who scores the 3rd goal of the 2nd quarter for the Biddeford Tigers. And with 1:26 to go in the half, Biddeford takes advantage of a nice steal by Noah Hallett. Jumped the passing lane, took the ball all the way, and gets the assist to Devin Doobie, who has his 1st goal of the afternoon. And the Tigers have their 3rd goal of the game.
What a sequence there for Biddeford. I mean, yeah, as you mentioned, Cole Hallett jumps the pass, takes the ball, has a nice long pass up to his teammate Doobie, and Doobie's able to score.
Out in front, nice pass and a better save by Doobie, but the rebound, a shot, and a score for TA. Try to get the number on that one as he runs off, but that's the 20th of the game for the Trojans. Number 18 not on our roster. Of course, if you've been watching this entire time, you've heard us say it a couple of times, but these are alternate jerseys, so some of the players had to switch numbers for this game. And those numbers are not on our rosters. Of course, these jerseys are to benefit the Barbara Bush Children's Hospital. Here's Will Marston on the near side. Ben Knox, the sophomore, guarded by Emerson. Carter Cormier with Connor Parent guarding him. Got 7 seconds left in the half. We'll see if TA will be content to just hold the ball, which they will. The buzzer sounds, and that's going to do it for the first half. A dominant performance by TA. 15 goals in the first period and 5 in the second. Biddeford able to put 3 up as well. But that's going to do it for the first half. We're going to take a quick break here on TA TV and be back after these messages and some halftime thoughts in the second half here from Hill Stadium.
Hey, Dan, how's that proposal coming?
Just finished. I am sending it right now.
Okay, good. Oh, no. How are we looking for noon? We got like 2 minutes. Dan.
Run over here.
Is this my room? Wow, Dad! Is this your room?
Welcome back to Dr. Paul S. Hill Jr. Stadium here on the campus of Thornton Academy. It's Class A boys lacrosse between Thornton Academy and Biddeford, and this is the annual blackout game for the TA boys lacrosse program. They are wearing their black jerseys with the baby blue numbers to benefit the Barbara Bush Children's Hospital. If you would like to donate to the cause, you can go to Saco Bay Lacrosse's website, and there's a link right on their homepage to donate. You can't miss it. Of course, a couple of years ago, we had a thriller between TA and Cape Elizabeth in this blackout game. Last year, TA played against York and won fairly easily against the team that went on to win the Class B championship. This year, it appears TA is going to cruise to another win, although a whole half of lacrosse left to play, as the score is 20-3, a comfortable 17-goal lead for Thornton Academy. I'm Cole Purvis alongside Troy Bullock, Josh Pulsifer doing our camera and producing here on site for this game. TA coming off of a thrilling 10-5 win under the lights here at Hill Stadium against Cape Elizabeth, a game that ended after 10 o'clock p.m. due to some lightning delays. The original lightning delay delayed the game a half an hour. It was supposed to start at 7 o'clock, ended up starting at 7:30. And then in about the third quarter, I believe, sometime during the second half, it got delayed again. So the teams went to their respective locker rooms to take cover. And then after a 42-minute delay, the Trojans came out and took care of business against Cape Elizabeth as Hersey scores again. Grady Hersey puts another point on the board. That's 21 goals for TA. I mentioned in the first half, 23 is the season high in goals scored. That was an early season matchup against the Gorham Rams here at Hill Stadium. TA scored 23 goals in that game, and they are closing in on that number. And we want to let you know that there is now running time for the second half, as in between goals scored, the clock will continue to run with TA up by 15-plus goals. Here's Jack DeLeo, so a couple of the starters back out there for TA. Behind the cage, this is Adam Donovan playing some offense. Usually a defenseman. He's going to play Division III lacrosse at Salve Regina in Rhode Island next year. Noah Hallett loses the ball. It'll roll out of bounds. But Troy, your thoughts on this team as they beat Cape Elizabeth in a big bounce-back win again after the loss to York, and they've obviously looked very good tonight. What's impressed you most with their performance so far?
Well, I mean, I'm hopeful for the rest of this season. I think they've got a lot of weapons offensively, especially whether it be Jackie DeLeo, Jake Marcotte, Noah Verano, Preston. I mean, they just have a ton of offensive powerhouses. They're a really tough team to stop, and I'm really looking forward to the rest of this season and their run into the playoffs. Obviously, as you mentioned, they beat Cape just a few days ago, and Cape has been really good for years, so I'm optimistic for sure.
Cape remains the 1 seed right now in Class A, despite having 2 losses, one to Falmouth and one to TA. Falmouth is the 2 seed. TA is the 3. That's really Tier 1. I don't see any teams really having a chance other than those 3. Deering is the 4 seed and Bangor is the 5, so we'll see if either of those teams can make any noise come playoff time. Here's Biddeford going to work on offense, down by 18 goals. In that Cape Elizabeth game, Cape was missing a couple of their big impact players, but they still had Keegan Lathrop, who's their Division I commit. So an impressive win, even though Cape was a little bit shorthanded. But just TA showing the ability that they can beat Cape is just such an important thing for their confidence heading into playoff time. Especially after losing by 7 goals about a week earlier on the road against the Capers. TA will finish off the regular season They have another game in between this and their final game, but their final game is on the road against Falmouth, which will be a huge test. And we could see a scenario where that's a battle for the number 2 seed. Of course, we'll have to see how the heel points shake out, and still a lot of things could happen, but the possibility that that could be a battle for a home game in the state semifinal. Here's Adam Donovan trying to muscle his way inside, shoots and scores. Adam Donovan, the Moose, with the 22nd goal of the game for Thornton Academy, and the Trojans pouring it on here against the Biddeford Tigers. Donovan going to play college lacrosse at Salve Regina next year. Usually a defenseman for TA, but they put him on offense. Plays a little attack and scores a goal.
We love Moose around here, so great to see him get a goal. As you mentioned, Cole, he's often on defense, so getting an opportunity on offense and able to score is great for him. Shout out to the Friendship Inn, which is where I work. Adam does as well. Best hotel in Old Orchard Beach. Ball dumped out in front. Skillings had an open net, but decides to work towards the back of the cage. The bouncing shot will go past the net. We've got a new cameraman here on TATV. Mr. Pulsifer's son, Joey, has taken over. He's already a better cameraman than his dad, so that's good to see. Noah Verano trying to put the moves on his defender. TA fan section loves it. Verano drops it off behind the cage. Here's a shot on goal that's high of the mark. It'll skip all the way to the back fence. 5 minutes to go here in the third period. Again, this second half will go quicker due to the running time, with TA up 15-plus goals here in the second half. In between goals, there will be no stoppage in play, or no clock stoppage, I should say. I got here towards the end of the girls lacrosse broadcast, which unfortunately for TA ended in a 10-5 loss to Biddeford in the first game of this doubleheader. But you and Mr. Pulsifer were discussing which of the spring sports teams here at TA has the best chance of winning a state championship, and I think Mr. Pulsifer nailed it. Baseball is definitely a sleeper, but I think you can't overthink it. It's boys lacrosse, because they've shown the ability to beat Cape Elizabeth, who's been there and won the state championship and is the favorite again this year. The fact that they've done it, which unlike baseball, who lost 10-0 to Falmouth, who's the favorite in that sport, just gives me confidence that they can go on a run. But baseball is a wild sport, which makes me think that really anything could happen. I mean, Falmouth, a team that, like I mentioned, is the favorite. They've had some uncharacteristic losses. They lost to Kennybunk the other day. I could see a team like Scarborough putting themselves in the mix in baseball as well. So I'd go boys lacrosse as number 1 and baseball as number 2. I think it would be pretty tough for any of the other spring sports teams at TA to put themselves in the mix for a state title. Of course, boys tennis, which I'm a part of. We were 10-0 up until yesterday, and picked up our first loss of the season against Falmouth, but then bounced back with a win today against Wyndham. So an 11-1 regular season for boys tennis. It'll be a week off before the playoffs. We will finish as, I'm pretty sure, will be the number 3 seed behind Falmouth the 1, Kennybunk the 2. You're noticing a common theme. Falmouth has some really good spring sports teams. Boys lacrosse, baseball, girls lacrosse, they're solid too.
Nice save by Pennell. The shot was from number 2, who is not on our Biddeford Tigers roster. But Colin Pennell with a nice save in net. He stepped in a net in relief of Drew Maxey. Here's Bo Preston playing the long stick midi position. TA is just switching up their lineup quite a bit here. We had Adam Donovan playing attack, and now Bo Preston playing the LSM position.
I mean, yeah, when you're up 22-3, you have the opportunity to kind of try a few new things. Get some new experiences.
Here's Chase Paquette, the freshman, getting some varsity playing time. Paquette played quite a bit in the first half, but unfortunately our roster did not have a number 41 due to the fact that these are alternate uniforms, as Zayden Doobie makes a nice interception there and will now take it out of the net. Floats it up ahead. Verano back onto the defensive side for TA. Throws one up to Paquette. But we've clarified with our sources at halftime, and Paquette is number 41, the freshman. Biddeford's going to get to the ball first here, so they will take it out. 25 seconds to go, again running time, so no clock stoppages here for the rest of the game, except for, of course, the break in between quarters. Here's Cam Lavertu, maneuvers towards the middle. Now finds Tyler Lydon. Lydon at the controls, moving to his left, finds Paquette. Paquette rips a shot on net, and it's turned aside by Doobie. That's going to do it for the third quarter. 22-3, the quietest quarter for TA offensively so far. Just 2 goals, and we are going to take a break here on TA TV and be back for the final quarter as we make the turn for home. We're going to take a quick break after these messages and be back at Hill Stadium in just a second.
Hey, Dan, how's that proposal coming?
Just finished. I am sending it right now.
Okay, good. Oh, no. How are we looking for noon? We got like 2 minutes. Dan.
Run over here.
Is this my room? Wow, Dad! Is this your room?
Back here for the fourth quarter on TATV, 22-3 is our score. Thornton Academy with a commanding lead over Biddeford. Cole Purvis alongside Troy Bullduk. Josh Pulsifer doing our camera work and producing, as well as Connor and Joey that have joined us to take over a little bit of the camera work. As TA has pretty much wrapped this game up, they will look to move on. Of course, that Falmouth game at the end of the regular season is going to be a big one for this team. TA's next game is here at Hill Stadium against Marshwood. It's a 5 o'clock p.m. game on Tuesday the 28th. And then after that will be the big showdown with Falmouth on the road. If you're just joining us, TA scored 15 goals to open up the game in the first period. And then put some of the reserves in and settle things down offensively a little bit. And now they stand at 22. Their season high for goals is 23. That came in an early season matchup against Gorham. That shot on net by Owen Sylvain, wide of the mark. But Troy, it's that time where we talk about the Boston Celtics as Biddeford scores their 4th goal of the game. Celtics have a 2-0 lead on the Indiana Pacers right now after a big performance by Jaylen Brown last night, 40 points on the night. Tyrese Halliburton went out with an injury in the second half of that game. He will be questionable for Game 3. What are your thoughts on this series so far, and thoughts on the Celtics playoff run in general?
Well, I mean, obviously I was a big fan of the way the game went last night. Nice 16-point victory. The first game was a really exciting game, went into overtime. I thought for sure, we talked about this a little bit during the girls' broadcast, but I thought for sure that the Celtics were toast. With about 10 seconds left, it looked like Indiana was going to take a Game 1 lead there. But they were able to get the turnover, and Jaylen Brown had that contested corner 3. So I was obviously pretty hyped when that happened. They were able to pull out the win in overtime. So they're up 2-0. I'm feeling pretty good. I think they're, talent-wise, they are the best team in the NBA. They should easily be able to win the NBA Finals. The problem comes in when they start getting a little bit too cute, you could say. They make some of these errors that they shouldn't. They take bad shots. They get upset. That's one thing about the Celtics. They are live or die by the 3. Which they're a good three-point shooting team, so when they're on, they're a tough team to beat. But when they aren't hitting their threes, then upsets happen. So hopefully they can take care of business again, 1-2 more, make it to the finals, and play whoever wins between Dallas or Minnesota. But I'm feeling pretty good about how they've done so far and what they'll continue to do.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Indiana choked Game 1 away. Had the ball up by 3 with 10 seconds left. And Rick Carlisle is a good coach who's been around for a long time, had a long stint with the Mavericks, but the way his team plays, they play a little out of control sometimes, which, I mean, you've got to take risks if you're a young team that comes into the Eastern Conference Finals as the underdog, only the 6th seed. But they play a little bit out of control. They run as hard as they can, which is good. You like the effort, but again, a little out of control. Halliburton not being there for Game 3 likely is going to really hurt them. Pascal Siakam played great I only watched the first half, but especially in the second quarter, he really got things going. But it's just laughable how easy the Celtics playoff run has been. This is the easiest run to the finals that I've seen in recent memory. When you talk about the Heat, without Jimmy Butler, without Terry Rozier, the Cavaliers, I'll admit it could have been worse. They could have played the Magic, which would have been a worse opponent than the Cavaliers, but Donovan Mitchell misses Games 3, 4, and 5 in that series. How do you expect the Cavs to do anything? And now the Pacers, who in the first place they were a 6 seed, and now they're a 6 seed without their best player. So looks like the series is a wrap. And then the series out west, those have been going deep. I mean, the Mavericks won in 6 games over the Thunder. The Timberwolves survived a 7-game war against the Nuggets. And now it looks like the Western Conference Finals are probably going to go pretty deep as well, with Dallas winning the first game and Anthony Edwards and Minnesota being a wagon as well. So they're going to be tired out. The Celtics are going to finish in 4 or 5 games, almost no doubt. They're going to go to the finals fully rested. Whoever comes out will already not be as talented as the Celtics, and they likely won't be as rested as well. I think the Celtics are going to walk to a championship, which, doesn't make me super happy, but
yeah, for those of you who don't know, Cole is not a Celtics fan. He is a bandwagon Warriors fan.
Aiden Doobie came all the way out of the net, almost to midfield, the goalkeeper for Biddeford. Interesting decision there. Left an empty net, and somehow TA did not score on it. 6 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in this game. Again, if you would like to donate to the cause, this game is to benefit the Barbara Bush Children's Hospital. You can go on the Saco Bay Lacrosse website, and the link is the first thing that you will see when you open that up. Let's talk about the Western Conference Finals, though. Luka and Kyrie and the Mavericks with a 1-0 lead on the Timberwolves. Those teams will play tonight in Game 2. Timberwolves trying to avoid dropping their first 2 games at home. What are your expectations for the rest of that series? And as a Celtics fan, who would you rather play in the finals?
I still, even though that Dallas won Game 1, I still feel like Minnesota is going to pull it out. Minnesota's a really interesting team. They've had an interesting run so far. They swept the Suns in the first round. Then they won the first 2 games of the series against Denver. It looked like they were dominant. And they won that Game 2 against Denver pretty significantly as well. But then Denver goes and wins 3 in a row and looks like they're going to win. Minnesota is able to force the Game 7, wins Game 7, advances to the Western Conference Finals. They've been kind of up and down this entire run, but I think they're a pretty talented team. Obviously, Anthony Edwards seems like a really talented player. He's got that kind of dog mentality. Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert. Wow, what a throw there.
A Hail Mary pass down the field. It'll go out of bounds.
Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, kind of their 2 big men down low. I think they're a really talented team, and I could see them winning. I mean, Luka's obviously really good. Kyrie's really good. But I feel like Minnesota is going to be tough for Dallas to beat, but I wouldn't be surprised either way. And I don't really have a preference as to either which one they play. I mean, if Dallas wins and Dallas goes to the finals and beats the Celtics, that would be brutal. I would have a hard time
Especially with
losing to Kyrie. That's what I mean. I would have a really hard time losing to Kyrie.
Which Kyrie's an interesting conversation because he's kind of revitalized his career.
Yeah.
He's been, seen as a toxic locker room guy in multiple places, Boston, Brooklyn, and hasn't been able to fit in when playing with other superstars. But now he's found something with Luka and the Mavs, and they've been doing a nice job under Jason Kidd of getting him involved. And Kyrie's always just been such a fun player to watch. The way he plays the game is just so smooth, and the way he can handle the ball, and just a super fun player to watch. And he's handled himself better with the media recently. He's sounded a lot more mature and well-spoken, and I think just comes with age, and he's now a much more likable guy and is playing a big role as the Robin to Luka's Batman, I guess, on the Mavericks' run to the Western Conference Finals. Of course, 2 years ago, they were in the conference finals against the Warriors and lost that one, so we'll see if they can get some revenge in their second time around. Minnesota, it's their first go at it. That pass will sail over the head of the TA player in the end zone. Of course, before we know it, it'll be another season of TA football here at Hill Stadium. Of course, me and Troy will be moving on to college by then, but the TA football team is going to have a lot of promise for next year, the defending state champs. Girls lacrosse also plays on this field, so they'll have a spring season to finish up as well. Two minutes remain here at Hill Stadium. 22-4. TA has not scored yet in this fourth quarter. So they might not break the single game scoring that we've been mentioning all night long. It seemed like a given after they scored 15 in the first quarter, but they've kind of took their foot off the gas. Of course, some of that is sportsmanship. It's never great to run up the score. Out in front, a nifty shot there by TA, it won't go. Could be Jamison Worthley for Biddeford that will fight for the ball along the far side. Now it's picked up by Will Marson. 1 minute remaining. My pregame prediction was 22 goals, so it's looking pretty good right now. Lavertu fires one on net, wide of the mark. Now TA will try for one last effort. That pass sails away from the TA player. As Aiden Doobie, the goalkeeper for Biddeford, is down around the 20-yard line. So Tony Giordano will go to check on him. Not what you want to see if you're a Biddeford fan. With just 28 seconds left in this game, your starting goalkeeper goes down with an injury. Biddeford still fought hard, despite it being a tough night here at Hill Stadium. Mr. Stevens is going to go check on him too. I got to say, Mr. Stevens recently has been sporting this green hat, which I asked him the other day what it was because it looked like Hartford Whalers colors, and it was close. It's the Hartford Yard Goats, who are the AA affiliate of, I forget the team, but of course AA, they play in the same league as the Portland Sea Dogs, the Eastern League. They have the same color scheme. It's interesting that the Hartford Yard Goats, the minor league baseball team in Hartford, has the same color scheme as the Hartford Whalers, the former NHL team. But I like the fashion choice by Mr. Stevens. Doesn't really match the maroon and gold, but I do like the hat. As Aiden Doobie is able to get to his feet, he'll take his helmet off. That will be the night for him. But as a Mainer, Mr. Stevens isn't really supporting the Sea Dogs with that hat. It's one of the Sea Dogs' biggest rivals. If you're still with us at this point, you are a true TATV fan.
We appreciate you.
We appreciate all you that watch our broadcasts, especially Jeff Christianberry. Worthley launches one down towards the direction of the TA goal. It'll be played down by TA. Final seconds ticking off the clock here. Student section has filed out. A shot and a score. In the final seconds, it's Cam Lavertu as the clock hits 0, and the final score will be 23-4. The senior, Cam Lavertu, with a goal at the buzzer. And TA will mob him in their offensive side. And that will cap off quite a night for TA Boys Lacrosse. Again, 23-4. Our score in Troy moving forward. Of course, the next game will be home against Marshwood on Tuesday, and then the big showdown against Falmouth to end off the regular season. Your expectations for this TA team for the remainder of the regular season, and how do you think they come away with a state championship this year?
Well, I think that they have the potential to do it. They're a talented team. We've been saying that this entire broadcast. We mentioned they beat Cape. They have the talent to do it, and I'm looking forward to the games coming up, and I have all the hopes in the world.
That's going to do it here from Hill Stadium. For Josh Pulsifer, for Connor and Joey doing the camera here in the second half, and for Troy Bullock, I'm Cole Purvis saying so long and have a good evening, and we will see you next time on TATV.